Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. It's that time of year again. It's time for the doomsday cults to shout from the rooftop that the end is nigh! Again! After all, the Mayan calendar ends December 21st, 2012. And just as repetitive as every single Judgment Day has been, the 2012 prediction, or more likely the inexplicable popularity of the movie, has inspired the Asylum to make not one, but two movies ripping off that title. The first one I covered, 2012 Doomsday, was made by the Asylum's overtly religious sub-studio, Faith Films. However, the main studio produced another 2012 ripoff as well, with 2012 Supernova. As one would expect, in this movie the entire world is being destroyed, and one man is doing everything he can to protect all life, but most importantly, his family, whom go on their own wacky adventure that's completely inconsequential to the plot. But unlike 2012 Doomsday, they never bring up the dates that any of these events take place on, and it really has fuck all to do with the year 2012. Nevertheless, let's take a look at 2012 Supernova and see if this star shines, or if it just blows. We open to a random shot of deep space, which we're supposed to believe is the highly recognizable Lyra constellation 2 centuries ago. Supernovas don't make planets explode, and the closest star in the Lyra constellation is 18.5 light years away, so I still don't see the threat. Now we go to Earth's orbit, in the ambiguous date of today, to see how things are doing. What the fuck was that? And the mysterious power of explosion is already at Earth, and aren't they fucked at this point? Evidently not, as we cut to Brian Krause playing the role of Ryan Kelvin. You may recognize him from his role as Leo Wyatt in the television series Charmed. I detest that show. Here he plays an astronaut, loving husband and father, with a wife and daughter who look to be about the same age. That wasn't on the weather report today!
Did you see what's happening outside? What should we do?
Hey, just stay calm. I need you to pack an overnight bag. We're going to the base.
How long are we gonna be gone?
Not long.
So I don't have to pack that much.
Look, I don't...
Who gives a shit? It's raining fireballs! I really don't think that your yoga mat is going to help that much. His woman who sits in the front seat, however, is decidedly less concerned about the strange weather.
I guess I shouldn't even bother asking why we're going to the base.
If you found out why, then I wouldn't be doing my job.
You're unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The meteorite's annihilating the Woolworths downtown, I can believe, but you? As if to give her exactly the smack in the head the audience demands at this point, a group of miscellaneous brown people attack, leading to a car chase that, while pretty bland overall, isn't too bad by Asylum standards. Oh god, I'm not actually starting to enjoy Asylum standards, am I?
Are you kidding me right now? Who was that? Why would people be after us?
Not sure.
Not sure because you don't know, or not sure because it's another stupid government cover-up?
Could you stop being pissed off for just a second? You're being shot at! The chase continues until they suffer a flat, conveniently near a stockpile of wooden pallets, and despite not needing to, the pursuers get out of their car to chase them down on foot. Like that was gonna even slow them down? They find a truck, somehow start it immediately, and even though they're moving at about 2 miles an hour, manage to put some distance between themselves and the random attackers.
It's a dead end, it's a dead end! Everybody get out! Go, 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 go!
This is the slap fight of chase scenes. So it's right back into the stockpile, heading into the warehouse, because it's always the best idea to just trade one dead end for another.
What are you doing with nuclear weapons, Dr. Kelvin?
Working late, huh? I thought maybe you were having an affair, but nukes? Oh, we are going to do some serious talking when we get home.
In the last year, you have made 7 trips to the International Space Station armed with bombs. Why?
If you wanted to nuke our country, you could save a lot of money by just using some long-range missiles. I mean, we're okay with you starting a war, but let's be conservative about it. The man easily finds him, but luckily for Brian, NASA forces show up with a shoot first, ask questions later strategy.
It took you so long.
Got here as quick as we could, sir.
Considering here is a random warehouse, how the fuck did you know he was going to be there? I know it's Deus Ex Machina, but fuck! Captain Henry, played by Asylum regular Londale Theus, assigns the two miscellaneous agents to watch after Laura and Tina, with instructions to bring them to base, which is where they were all heading anyway, so...
How long? Tell me when it's gonna be over and we're gonna be safe.
A month.
How did you get that big of a warning? Or, hell, 7 trips you've already done over the past year. He's surprised, though, that somehow people found out about him launching into outer space with nuclear warheads every 2 months.
Look, no supposed to be about it. Based on the analysis we've been getting from the Spitzer Space Telescope, there's going to be enough gamma radiation for a planet-killing catastrophe.
Gamma radiation? Awesome! He should have started filming a month in! Then we'd be watching the World of Hulks movie! Wait, the Spitzer? That detects wavelengths that are longer than visible light. Gamma radiation is shorter than visible light.
That's how long we have until the blast hits us.
420! Awesome! Wait, is that 4 days and 20 hours? Well, so much for that month you said earlier! Anyhow, we are introduced to the brains of this operation, Dr. Kwang Yi, played by Alora Lee, and Alan Poe as the horrifically stereotypical Russian Trzynski.
And I think that we will have to alter each launch by a few milliseconds in order for pattern to sustain cloud.
He may be a drunkard, but he's a Russian, so you know they're good at space. And as far as I can tell, Kelvin here is the only one involved with the project who happens to be an American. However, despite them being foreignly brilliant, the American doesn't trust their input.
Perhaps it's in our own mutual interest that we study all the data and make our decisions based on that.
But what are the chances that this uneducated rocket jockey is somehow going to know more about the way the supernova behaves than these highly trained foreign scientists? More importantly than all this technobabble about the impending destruction of the planet, however, his 2 women are trying to find a necklace.
Mrs. Kelvin.
What? I'm not leaving here without her mom's necklace, okay?
While you may think that this heirloom holds some strange factor that's going to help save the day in Act 3, no, it is 100% useless in this movie. Laura gets frustrated, again, but Tina offers her some comforting words.
Has some pretty big things on his mind.
Yeah, that reminds me, how dare he not mention transporting all those nukes? I was wondering why his balls could glow in the dark. In the meantime, the agents are watching the news reports from 2012 Doomsday, and Laura finds the damn necklace, but Tina is frustrated, so Laura offers her some comforting words.
He's got a lot on his plate right now.
You already said that. With these 2 characters. Less than 5 minutes ago. But if that's not enough ridiculousness, bursts of gamma radiation somehow translate to earthquakes, and they must flee the premises as fast as they can.
When's it gonna stop? Let's just hold on.
Yeah. Did I mention that it doesn't look like the Asylum knows how to do the earthquake shaky cam either? 50 miles away at the base, NASA's suffered the quake off-screen, but their concerns over not having enough nukes in space caused them to make a bold decision.
Look, we don't have any other choice. Those warheads have to get up on the platform, or parts of the Earth are gonna go unprotected and destroyed by radiation.
The space shuttle isn't like a Ford truck. You can't just throw a donut on it and expect it to make it to the International Space Station. We ping-pong back to Laura as Brian calls her up.
The house was destroyed in the earthquake.
You should have seen it! Crumbling, smoke and dust everywhere. Easily the best effects all decade. It's too bad it was all off-screen. The conversation establishes that, yes, they're heading to the base, and more importantly, the agents are a good distance in front of them, which means seconds after they hang up, might be a good idea to pull over. You can't outrun an earthquake. Naturally, there happens to be a mountain nearby that for years was balancing a giant fucking boulder. Ooh, rock beats Pontiac. But this time back at NASA, they didn't feel a thing, but they do detect an energy surge about to hit the Earth. That's not important though, so they launch anyway.
Mission Control? Mission Control, can you read me?
And while they use stock footage for a great many transitions in Asylum films, here they actually use stock footage for the shuttle launches as well. For this particular one, actually, as far as I can tell, they're using actual footage of the Challenger disaster. I don't give a fuck about these characters or how much money you saved on effects. Have some fucking respect, Asylum!
We needed those warheads.
Oh, fuck your stupid plot in every fucking plot hole! Back on the transitions, Pluto is destroyed. Shit, don't pick on Pluto. They've been feeling depressed ever since they lost the title of planet. On the espionage subplot, they figure out who leaked all the important information.
You did.
No. Don't start including evil twins or alternate dimensions!
Is there any way that when my username signs in to use a program that we attach a voice ID and a password?
Sure, no problem.
For a second I thought that Invasion of the Pod People had snuck its way into this movie. Far more importantly than national security, however, Laura finds the last quake destroyed the road, and fortunately a crew came out in the 15 minutes to put a sign up, too.
We're trying to get to the airbase, but the bridge is blocked, so we can't get through.
Honey, what the fuck do I have to do with roads? Find another one! Hello?
Hey, Decker? Remember that conspiracy video series you've been doing lately where you make fun of the religious YouTube spam?
Yeah, what about them?
Well, I was trying to get an early start doing my taxes, and I think I may have accidentally proven that there really is a God by mistake. So, you are going to hell after all. Sorry about that, but at least we can share a cell together.
Actually, Brian tells them to go to the special exclusive NASA fallout shelter, which apparently is a different direction than the base, before we watch the blast going up Uranus, though for some reason it doesn't want to touch that planet.
Laura, look out!
Huh. When I read on paper that they got randomly attacked by a transformer, I imagined something different. They deftly dodge and then drive like maniacs away from the stationary threat, and it's painfully obvious that the reason all the cars in this movie have tinted windows is so we don't see the stunt drivers. Am I the only one who would just drive on the rim in the situation of, I don't know, the entire fucking world coming to an end? I guess so, as they change the tire while complaining about the heat from the star that exploded 108,754,589,403,897 miles away, and this inexplicable reason for climate change starts delivering the extreme weather as lightning begins striking all around them, naturally creating brush fires.
Okay, don't touch anything. Anything metal will be electrified.
Considering most cars these days are made of plastic, it's easy to see why they say that staying inside of a car is the safest place to be during a lightning storm. But one of their windows breaks!
Alright, okay, maybe we can get a ride. Get out.
Just drive your car? Oh, an open window will somehow conduct electricity better than the metal frame? Apparently so, as they get out of their perfectly functional car to flag down another car, but knowing what happened to the last sets of minor characters, nobody quite feels like picking them up.
Hey! We have to get away from the car to catch lightning.
The power lines were far more likely to be struck than the... Fuck it. They also shout to avoid the trees, even though they zigzag around several of them, eventually finding the safest place in the world, a barn with a sheet metal roof surrounded by trees and fence posts with an extremely tall TV antenna. Not to say things are great with Brian.
Heard you had a problem. Kinda makes me wonder, God wants us interfering with his plans.
If the blast originated 200 years ago, then everyone God was trying to kill already dead. But now it's time for stock footage we've seen from Invasion of the Pod People, I Am Omega, and 2012 Doomsday, before we're back with Brian still trying to calculate the best launch pattern for what nukes they do have on the space platform. But then... Oh no! Who could this mysterious masked foe be? Probably the only woman we've seen in the entire building. She knocks him out, but luckily a random guard comes in and Mystery Woman's ninja skills prove too much for him.
You got any idea who attacked you?
No.
It was Kwang Yi. Obviously, you have no other female characters at NASA that are still alive. Strangely, it also doesn't look like the attacker damaged anything relating to the mission, spare him and the guard. He does interrogate the other team members.
You both been here the whole time since I left?
Well, I was gone a few minutes to pick up some sandwiches, but...
Oh, the woman went to get sandwiches. That's an airtight alibi. Now we see the blast take out one of Jupiter's moons, which looks suspiciously like Pluto did. Also, if this force is causing the instantaneous destruction of the moons of Jupiter, could someone please explain to me how the fuck a nuclear buffer is going to make any difference when it gets to Earth? Back with the victims of this tale, Farmer Brown, played by Stafford Mills, finds them in his barn, and we get a slower-paced, emotional scene as he helps them call Brian again. Well, emotional as you can get when one of the four actors knows how to act.
You know what? I'm coming to get you guys.
No, baby. You can't leave the project now.
The entire Earth is depending on your success. I believe in you.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, kiddo.
Oh, that one's his daughter. Okay.
I'm gonna do what I can. But I need you and Laura to find a safe spot, okay?
Remember what I taught you. Duck and cover. Farmer Brown shows how truly caring he is by offering his truck to them while he intends to stay behind. But let's not forget these two other victim characters, as Brown does a complete 180 at the last second, demanding that Tina stay with him in the most creepy way possible.
I think maybe you and I can maybe get to know each other.
Is the movie going to try to explain his horniness as a result of the Supernova 2? Their stunt doubles escape, but before long the special effects department attacks, and we get another ridiculously over-the-top desert drive before they are again attacked by a transformer, and then avoid a magically appearing tornado by hiding in a tiny fragile building directly in its path. I don't have enough time to react to how ridiculous it is before they throw something even more ludicrous at me. It's like Final Destination, except less believable. As time is running short for the project, they get their own disaster. Sort of. Shake the camera! A little! Come on, people! Try! You shake it all the time in the other movies! Furthermore, the unknown woman attacks Brian again, but escapes coincidentally before Dr. Yi shows up, because it's not a big enough hint that she's the only woman for miles.
Where's Jasinski?
In the control room, we've been getting ready to leave.
You're suspecting that the drunken, bald man is the female ninja that's been trying to kill you? I don't have to say anything to that. After chastising the man, we get a quick tremor and a glimpse at the magical powers of a paper plate that is somehow important to the plot. Never mind that, though. We've got to see Laura and Tina be victims some more.
You okay?
It's alright, baby. It's not the end of the world. And if you haven't had any problem suspending your disbelief up to this point, they happen to find an old abandoned car in the middle of nowhere, and even get it to start running using nothing but a screwdriver.
Nice.
Okay, fuck it! Send them into space with a roll of duct tape and some Reynolds wrap and let them protect Earth from the supernova. Anyhow, after the most exciting high-speed chase I've ever seen in an Asylum film, Brian explains to the others his insane hypothesis.
Alright, but if the magnetosphere takes the full burst of the supernova first disrupting its flow, it won't be able to regenerate, and all that will be left is the one shield, the cloud shield, to protect the Earth.
Even if that's 100% true, the space platform is a man-made orbiting object, right? The highest one of those we've sent the space shuttle to has been 350 miles up. The magnetosphere is 43,150 miles higher than that. It's a bit harder to do. They refuse to reprogram for him anyway, and they all suit up in the sideways cockpit, giving us the third shuttle launch of this movie. All using the same stock footage. Yay. They make it to the space platform, which looks like a sci-fi space station, complete with an unexplained source of gravity.
The missiles aren't going to deploy unless I do it manually! Initiate the firing sequence! Jasinski! Jasinski!
In a completely unexpected freak plot twist, it turns out the assassin was Dr. Kwang Yi all along! Because she's Chinese. Fuck it, nationalism makes no fucking sense during Armageddon, so I'll just say that she fucking hated Charmed too. He defeats her by tearing off one of the electrical wires and frying her, because, you know, they don't need to make sure the station is operational or anything. Now that it's up to him, he decides to manually launch all the missiles to detonate over 40,000 miles up, but a handful wouldn't launch, so...
We know what we have to do.
We have to rip off Armageddon on top of it. Indeed, as he moves the whole platform outside the magnetosphere, which happens to be about 300 feet up, but we can't be deep even when ripping off another movie, so Brian launches an escape pod that we only know about just now. And the reason that this supernova that traveled 18.5 light years and destroyed abso-fucking-lutely every planet in its path was subdued by a firecracker is... what? Exactly. Thus we get our obvious happy ending as Brian is reunited with the perpetual victims, giving the soulless inspirational monologue as the movie comes to a close. Oh, but Brian mentions that he was changing the codes to protect the Eastern Hemisphere more. How that works when the supernova is coming at one side of the planet, I don't know. But anyway, that was 2012 Supernova, and it blew. I assume that surprises no one, as I was quite clear starting this out that it was an Asylum film, but I have been pleasantly surprised by them in the past, with some so bad it's good qualities, but this just doesn't fit the bill. The science is so fucked up throughout the film, I couldn't complain about all the problems simply because I don't want this review to last the whole 90 minutes the movie did. Similarly, the characters are about as shallow as the Asylum usually gives us, but holy fuck, could Laura and Tina be described as anything in this movie other than victims? They spent the entire film running from disaster after disaster, accomplishing nothing and complaining about everything. There's a guilty pleasure to this film, though. The CGI work is so cheesy, it's got a certain charm to it, and the way the apocalypse scenario is portrayed, it's somehow so over the top, you just can laugh at how ridiculous things get. For this reason, 2012 Supernova could eke out 2 victims out of 5, but I must protest the use of actual disaster footage. What enjoyment I might get out of this film is completely sapped by such blatant disrespect, dumping 2012 Supernova down to 1 boulder out of 5. At least when certain online communities poke fun at tragedies, they acknowledge that the original event actually happened. In this, they take footage of real death and use it as if it's just part of their shitty movie. Thank you all for watching. I've been Shado, and remember, despite not having anything to do with 2012 specifically, this is still relevant for the 2012 apocalypse, which I assure you is going to go just the same as every other doomsday you've already lived through. Haven't you ruined my day enough already?
Yeah, about that. Seems I forgot to carry a number. Turns out I actually proved the dinosaurs were never wiped out, but instead got shunted into another dimension that's only accessible by Brooklyn plumbers.
Oh, thank a non-existent god! Wait, Brooklyn plumbers? That sounds familiar.
Oh, and it seems Paris Hilton is the new messiah for the age of Aquarius. Bye.
This is what's important. The strength of the cloud shield.